Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane Car, and I've got a little bit of a head scratcher for you because I'm standing behind the 2017 Dodge Challenger GT with all-wheel drive. They call it an all-wheel drive muscle car. Under here, a V6. Coming up next, we're going to discuss that. What you're looking at is a 305 horsepower, 3.6 liter V6. It's the Pentastar, and it puts out 268 pound-feet of torque. It's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which mostly feeds the rear wheels. In fact, it can be 100% rear drive, and that's good. Now, important number, 18 miles per gallon city, 27 miles per gallon highway, for a combined 21 miles per gallon. Now, if this was just the rear drive version with the V6, it would get 10% better MPG. This vehicle weighs about 200 pounds more than the regular rear drive V6 with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and obviously that weight is because of everything that's up front. It doesn't really feel that much heavier. The steering is super duper light, so going around corners, I'm not really detecting that much extra weight. This thing not only has a big trunk for its class, it has a huge trunk period, 16.2 cubic feet. The front end basically has a clutch that kicks in to get these front tires pulling when, under different circumstances, it's necessary. Here's an example. If you're driving down the road and you punch it, front end will kick in as well. If you play with the paddle shifters, all-wheel drive. If you are on a wet surface or a cold surface, all-wheel drive. So it's not the same as having all-wheel drive full-time. It's like having all-wheel drive when you need it. Okay, launch control, already in the mode. Sport mode set, launch control, push the button, then hit activate launch control. And then the center IP tells me to press brake and quickly, and then release brake to go. Now supposedly that is the ideal placement for power, acceleration, all that stuff. 8.25, you know, that's not too bad. 8.25. What about its looks, its overall design? As handsome as it is to look at, and it is really a handsome car, especially like this stripe with the big word Challenger right here in case you forgot what you're looking at, which you won't forget because it doesn't look like anything else. And FCA is really good about extending and stretching out the life of their vehicles. You can look at the Jeep Wrangler, you can look at the Ram and see how long they've been around. This vehicle is very different than its competition, and I'll tell you why. A, this one has all-wheel drive. Neither of its two competitors, the Camaro or the Mustang, have that available. A lot more trunk space in this vehicle than its competitors. It's a bigger car altogether. You can hold 3 people fairly comfortably in the back seat. But the overall design is still timeless. Yet, with these 19-inch wheels, which look pretty good from the side, you begin to realize how wide it is when you see how narrow those tires look when you look at it from the very front or the very back. It's comfortable, it's quiet, very quiet inside. In fact, once again, that's kind of what the problem is because I don't hear anything rumbling. It just doesn't sound that sporting, not from the inside. All right, I'm just gonna punch it here. I mean, you know you're going fast, right? The sound just doesn't sound like a muscle car to me. I think that's one of the main things you really need to have. And in terms of overall ride comfort, this is the most comfortable car in its class. With the all-wheel drive system, I haven't noticed any major difference in terms of ride. From the inside, it's quiet. In fact, the interior is fairly simple. It's the same Challenger setup that they've basically had for years. It is an easy interior to get to know. In other words, little things like being able to use the infotainment system or Apple CarPlay, all that stuff in here, a breeze. It's very easy to get set up in here if you just hopped into the car from a rental agency to make yourself comfortable in the front seat. Everything about this car is easy going. And frankly, that's yet another thing that in my book makes it not a muscle car, especially with the lack of a manual transmission. I mean, back when I was a kid, when you had a muscle car, and I'm talking about the late 70s and the early 80s, but there was always a smell. It always smelled a little rich. Back then, you could actually tell a car was running rich, by the way, by, really smelling it. Nowadays, muscle cars can be driven every day, get decent mileage, and last 100,000 miles or more. But they still have V8s. They still have at least an option for a manual transmission. They're all rear drive, not all-wheel drive. So, yeah, not really a muscle car, but a good car. Now, I know I've been going on and on about this thing not being a muscle car, but one of the main reasons why we're doing this video is just on a day-to-day basis, what's the difference between this and its cousin with the Hemi or its cousin with the Supercharged engine? Well, the big difference is simple. This is an easy car to live with day to day. It can handle snow. We've proven that already with our other video. It drives like a cream puff. It handles pretty good. Hey, that's not so bad, right? All right, let's get to the bottom line. These start at around $34,000. This one, as equipped, comes out to around $39,000. That is a lot of money, but think about it this way. How many other vehicles out there with a V6 have all-wheel drive and all the kit that this vehicle has? Remember, it's a coupe. Now answer the question. Not that many. So it's a fairly sophisticated, different type of ride. It still has personality, and that's huge. And at the end of the day, look, if you live in snow country, this is going to be a great car to drive and a great car to own, especially if you don't want an SUV or a lifted wagon or anything like that. So there you go. It's not a muscle car, but it is a fun car. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan Adlin. Don't forget to go to tflcar.com for news, views, real world reviews. And remember, we have the video review of this car in the snow. See you next time.